This ain't no jive.
This ain't no jive.
Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, we both. Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes.
Both.
Hey, I'm almost ready when Mandy's not writing with her green pen. Her green pen. Oh, I have to not break my neck. Oh, my God. I have to crack my neck. That felt good. Green pen. Interesting choice. Is that my pen?
It's your pen. I found it in
Money.
the pen box.
Green money. All right, here we go.
Money makes the world go around, the world go around, the world go around. Money makes the world go around, that clinking, clanking sound. It makes the world go round. You know where that's from?
Yep. That's
right.
good. Go around. I like how you say the W, like Elmo Fudd. Go around. Go around. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Shayzee, cosmic alchemist, music producer and artist, and vocal vixen. Living in LA. Born in Xanadu. I did it reverse. Living in LA. I'm born in Xanadu. Okay, let's try that again. Born in Xanadu. Mm-hmm. Xanadu. I think I'm going to watch that again. I have it in my queue. I was like going through like my long ass queue and kind of cleaning it up. And I saw Xanadu and I was like, might be a Xanadu night coming up.
Xanadu night.
Whew! Hey, I'm Shayzee, cosmic alchemist, music producer and artist, and vocal vixen. Born in Xanadu and living in LA, ready to scratch that itch in your brain.
And hi, I'm Mandy, singer, actress, born and raised in LA, here to sprinkle a little love everywhere I go. And welcome to Sonic Donuts, where each month we give you a fresh take on some of the most iconic songs. We perform live covers, dig into the stories behind the music, and dive into some of life's big questions inspired by the lyrics.
Yes, and in this episode, we're taking a powdery bite out of Mazzy Star's Fade Into You. This is a classic. This one, I'm sure, even if you're a newer generation, you know this track.
Heck yeah, you
Beautiful
do.
90s track. And
It was like the anthem of the 90s.
anthem of like, melancholy and
sad.
dreamy, soundscapey, awesome songy.
Powdery.
Is that a category?
Powdery velvety.
Powdery velvety. That's right. It's such a good description. We're so good at naming our donuts.
I know.
So yeah, we were really excited to cover this one for this episode for all of you. Now, as you know, it's very dreamy. Mm-hmm. We wanted to honor the integrity of the track and keep it in that kind of vein because the lyrics need that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But we did put our little groove spin on it to give it a little different. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. So as usual, get ready for your Episode 5 donut. We're going to cover this live for you right now. Put your little donut watching caps on. I don't know. I'm going to make this up as I go. And get your popcorn. Get your drinks, your favorite teas.
Get your oat milk.
Get your, I don't know. Oat milk. Get your oat milk for your donuts. Yeah.
For your donuts.
Oh, you can dunk your donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Do you ever?
That's
Whoa.
probably how they invented that name. They were like,
You're right.
just dunking their donut.
I love how we just like learned something that was so obvious, right? We're like, we learned the reason for Dunkin' Donuts. No, that's true though. I don't dunk my donut. Oh, dunking into your coffee. Do people dunk into coffee? Is that a thing?
The Simpsons. What's his name?
Someone dunks into coffee.
Homer does. I've seen him do it.
Is that like an English thing?
They
do scones.
I've never dunked my donut.
I've never dunked my donut
I've
either.
never dunked my donut.
Maybe.
But
what?
I'm sure people dunk their cookies.
I dunk my cookies. I used to
For
dunk
sure.
my cookies. Oreo cookies.
I used to dunk my...
Or chocolate chip, like the Chips Ahoy.
So when my tia used to take care of us, she'd make us like chocolate milk. And my grandma in Mexico too.
Ooh.
Not Mexico.
Like
Nesquik?
Nesquik.
There was Nesquik and Ovaltine.
Ooh, I didn't like Ovaltine. Did you like it? It kind of
As a kid,
malty.
I learned to like it.
It's like
Wasn't that one like with the vitamins, Ovaltine?
yeah, it was kind of malty to me.
Yeah,
Like
it
milk
definitely was
chocolate.
like a healthier chocolate. milk.
Yeah, I was like, give me that Hershey shit. I
In
want Hershey.
Texas, yeah, we would dunk our bread in chocolate milk. It's so fire because then you like get like this juicy bite. You know what I'm talking about.
Wait, actually, I could see that being good, but it's
Yeah.
weird, but it's good.
It's weird. It would have to be like and it's like the white bread like that you're not supposed to be eating.
But that
now.
absorbs, you know, it's all gets it all souped up.
It's so,
And you're just like, oh, dripping. I can see
saucy.
that being a good one. So with that said, whatever you need to enjoy this lovely cover, and we are excited to perform it for you right now. Mwah. Here Here we go. All right. All right.
I wanna hold a hand inside you.
I wanna take the breath that's true.
I look to you and I see nothing.
I look to you to see the truth.
You live your life, you go in shadows.
You'll come apart and you go blind.
Some kind of night into your darkness.
Colors your eyes with what's not there.
Fading to you. Strange, you never know. Fading to you. I think it's strange, you never know.
A stranger's light comes on so slowly.
A stranger's heart without a home.
You put your hands into your head.
And then it smiles, covers your heart.
All right. Well, I love that song.
I love that song
I
too.
covered that in my former band. And so I was really excited to cover that with you, which I love being able to do the harmonies.
We sound really beautiful together. We
It was
blend
really
very
nice.
nicely.
Yeah.
You actually made me, it was kind of like a memory unlocked when she told me about this song to do the cover for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, it's not like something that I listen to often anymore, but
Right.
when
It's
you
an older
played
song.
it for me, I was like, oh my gosh,
Right. It's
yes,
nostalgic.
I remember this song.
Yeah, because it's from the 90s. And it was, at the time, that was before the big surge of a lot of the female artists. But at the time, Mazzy Star, which her actual name, the lead singer, most people think that's her name. But that's the name of the band.
Yeah.
Hope Sandoval.
Hope Sandoval.
Is actually the name of the singer. She's very shy. She was very kind of like emo recluse, that vibe. And it just kind of, amongst all the pop, dancey, blah, 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 it was just like this beautiful, like, velvety soundscape that kind of came out of like this era of when female artists started emerging as these lead singers, talking about like, stuff that in the 90s you had, like, remember Reality Bites, you had singles, you had all these people who were just like, it's like disenfranchised younger people generation that were just trying to find a connection with each other and with the world.
And she was really young too. She was like one of 10 siblings, first of all.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and she was only like 18,
good
like still in
God.
high school when David Roback, the other person in Mazzy
In the band,
Star,
yeah.
in the band, discovered her, and he was like, she's such an amazing lyricist. Like he
Yeah.
once said like she could be the next female Bob Dylan of her generation.
I feel like she was
Just
highly underrated just because
Yeah.
she wasn't like a super outgoing personality.
yeah.
Don't you think?
But her lyrics were beautiful, very poetic.
Yeah, and I felt like we were trying to think of course, we try to keep it fresh about like what donut we pick for each month. And of course, February is known for being like the month of love. Also, it is, Black History Month. There's all these different things, but we were trying to think about like, something that connected with almost like, I love this song anyway, but then I thought, oh my God, Fade Into You of all her songs is the most popular, most well known. But it is, they say, about an unrequited love. Basically, like when you pour into somebody or something and it's like you don't.
It's not reciprocated.
It's not reciprocated and it probably never will, But you have to have that moment of realization of like, because it sucks because you're just like, you can't
want it
stop
so
your heart.
badly.
Yeah, your heart just wants what it wants, but then you're just like, So I feel like, and it's so, her lyrics are also, I always kind of was confused by lyrics when I first covered her song. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what are her lyrics? And so I kind of like, in a weird way, I liked how they're kind of slightly cryptic and they're kind of abstract.
I feel like a lot of the music in the 90s was kind of that vibe.
Maybe
Like,
that's, I
what are
love
you guys
90s
talking
music.
about?
Yeah, I kind of like that because it leaves it open for the listener's interpretation.
Yeah.
But I feel like we feel the sentiment in the song and how.
And her delivery of it.
Her delivery.
And even when they would perform, they would perform on like dark sets.
Yes.
Like,
that's right.
Sometimes people would walk out and be like, what's going on? This is too strange.
Like, is somebody got a flashlight?
I know, I can't see anything. I'm not even strumming in the dark.
They're like, where is she? Where is she? No, but that's true. And it was very so indicative of the times, where it was like, they say emo or indie, but it was the time of emo means emotive. We were starting to find, step into our feels and like really put it out there, put our hearts out there, talk about our heartbreak, talk about these moments where we're like,
and you're so real and raw about it. Kind of like when we covered Alanis and we deep dived on her. She was just so like a diary, speaking her diary to the world.
But I love it. I
real.
think it's beautiful to be that vulnerable because there's so many people who are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, and they're going to connect with you. And sometimes I will attest to this. I'm afraid of being so real at some points.
Yeah.
But when you can relate to a song and you're like, dang, she's going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. And
yeah, it's like
we appreciate you artists for being open and real
yeah,
like that.
and we feel it the same way as artists ourselves. It's like it is a moment of deciding to put your heart out there and to put that into your art and to share that with people, like, honestly, I feel like that's when you truly blossom as an artist. If you're willing to do it, because it takes courage. It really takes courage to put it all out there. You know, everybody thinks everybody's so perfect and has this perfect journey, especially like bigger people who are like mainstream artists or whatever. But it's like, no, I feel like the artists I really resonate with are the ones that are like human beings going through real stuff. Vulnerable relationships, transitional life things, you know. And, you know, what we do is we tell stories, we share stories, and we go, listen, I walked through it. You can do it too. Or, you know, I'm here for your sister. I hear it. I feel ya. I went through that too. I know what you're feeling.
You'd be surprised how many people have gone through the same thing as you. So.
I mean, it's like the tale as old as time, you know, this whole love thing where we're just trying to find that connection. And sometimes we are drawn to, you know, people that aren't a good fit or like aren't connecting with us on the levels that we're looking for. And that's okay. It's part of our journey. But I love how we can put it into beautiful poetry with words.
Yeah.
And we share that story through poetry rather than just like, you know, conversation. I think we lost that. We've lost that poetry. And I feel like that's coming back. And I feel like songwriting has always held that. We always have to be so direct and on the nose. And it's like, there's something beautiful about speaking in poetry and talking about your heartbreak, but in these weird, like lyrical phrasings. But you know what? We're feeling it. We feel it anyway. It's like almost like how music is a universal language. It doesn't matter what the words are. It's like the feeling of it. We connect, like our hearts connect. So that's why I felt like it was a really good choice for February,
Very good choice. This song literally... It was so big in the time that it came out.
It was. Unexpectedly, they said.
Yeah, and it was featured
like,
in like over 30 movies and TV shows.
Yes.
And literally
very cinematic.
Inspired other artists too. Like later down the road, like a lot of Lana Del Rey.
I was literally just going to say Lana Del Rey.
Right?
Yeah, she's...
Her first album.
Yeah.
What was it called? Born...
not the one with Romeo and Juliet. It was the one before it, right?
Yeah, like her first album kind of sounded a lot like this. She was inspired a lot by Mazzy
You can
Star.
hear that influence for sure. And I think, well, who's the other artist that has got the same vibe? Yeah, Mazzy Star is known for this. Like I was telling you about Cowboy Junkies, and you didn't really know, but that they're similar, where it was like this era of these beautiful, not so much doing runs or doing all these kind of things. It was almost like this more like kind of wide tone singing.
Such a beautiful tone.
Yeah, very gentle. Like a warm blanket. And it was just like, but it also spoke to that heartbreak or that like yearning, you know? And it is very cinematic in that way. I love that. I mean, I'm drawn to that. I'm so drawn to that.
And this song, they recorded it in one take, Jake.
That's right. And there, a lot of the songs that we're picking, I noticed there's a fun fact. Like Alanis had the same thing.
Right.
And
just pros, professionals.
But I feel like it conveys this rawness and this realness about doing something in one take. There's something kind of wonderfully imperfect about that. And you capture the original emotion of it, you know, and then like, I don't know, I love that. I think that's so great.
That's true. And because you can, when you're in the studio, you and I both are familiar with that. You can just, they could just chop you in and like say, okay, redo this one line, but it won't come out the first way that you did it.
Yeah.
It'll always be different. And you can kind of tell too as a listener.
When it's chopped up too much, punched in too much. Yeah, and you're losing that kind of
vulnerability and
that emotion
rawness.
That kind of strings the words together. You know, it's fine. Sometimes you do want to punch a little thing here and there, but it's so lovely if you can capture, even if it's a little imperfect. Like Bjork does that a lot.
Yeah. If it's not hitting the right note, you could feel that.
Sometimes that's okay.
That's okay.
I mean, if you're feeling okay as a singer and you're like, you know what, keep it. There's been a couple times I had to like, as I evolved as an artist, I used to be more like perfectionist about stuff, but then I realized I was like, you know what, I'd rather leave some character in there. And I think a couple producers helped me with that, where they were just like, no, we love how your voice did that thing. And I was like, okay. And I was resistant to it because I was like, I needed to be perfect. I am still an OCD about pitch, but outside of that, like I was like, let me hear some emotion in that note. it's not perfect, but I love that. And I love hearing
Yeah.
singers do that.
So especially when you're
Yeah.
listening to the album and you can tell, oh, they were crying in the studio. And they were crying in the
Right.
booth when they said that note.
Oh
or
my
that
God, that's
line, like,
true. And even learning that about it makes you, it doesn't make you
makes you
feel
love
mo-
it even more.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because it feels so like, I don't know, human.
When they laugh or like, they're keeping the laugh. Like,
I've had those moments, and it's cool. I've been fortunate to work with some awesome music collaborators, and oftentimes that will happen. We'll keep that in, like little moments
Yeah.
of like laughing or having a moment. But it does. It kind of like
it adds character.
adds character, and it lets you all, whoever's listening, it lets you in closer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's the whole goal. As artists, we are storytellers in music. And I think that's what it is. We create, at least when I write songs, it's my way of expressing and sharing a story about my heart, you know, and it comes off different, it depends on what mood I'm in. But the point is, because it's coming from the heart rather than my head, I feel like it is vulnerable, but also it really resonates with people more because
Right.
it's letting them in. It's letting them know me. I mean, it's like I'm not for everyone, but that's okay. And I think I was so worried as an artist to do that. And I think there's a lot of artistry that because of labels and they kind of just like dial it in and it's like kind of just perfect recipe and blah, blah. But there's something a little soulless about that. So that's why when I uncover artists like Mazzy Star and the artists that we've been covering in this podcast, like they have this beautiful raw essence.
Yeah.
All of them. Like seriously, we're picking some good ones.
I was like in my brain, like
We're good.
thinking, okay, we did Alanis, we did
Not Tori Amos yet.
Billie Eilish,
Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
I mean, they're all great.
Go back and listen to them.
Go back to all of them.
This is episode 5 already, guys.
I know. This is so cool. I'm so happy. I'm so
And
proud
hi
of us.
to the new followers,
Yes.
new subscribers. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you. Of
We're having
course.
so
We're
much
always so
fun.
happy. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's a journey, and we're so happy that you guys are on this journey with us, enjoying some donuts. Who doesn't like donuts?
I love donuts.
I don't trust anybody who don't like donuts. I'm just saying, you know, there's some kind of like, you know, qualifiers. It's like if someone doesn't like my dog Juno. Like,
Yeah, if you don't like dogs,
right?
what's wrong with you?
Is Dolly, like, is she particular? Do you always kind of use her as a litmus test for people? Or is she not
no,
really?
Dolly really loves everybody.
She's just kind of like,
My
come
little
on in,
Frenchie.
stranger. Yeah, she's a
like,
sweetie.
hello. But no, actually, no. She will kind of be like weird with some people.
Oh, so sometimes her energy, she doesn't like someone's energy.
Yeah, she could kind of get a vibe. But
Yeah.
for the most part, she's pretty chill. If you give her a treat, she'll be arrested.
So like, so basically, like a robber's like, here's a treat, and she's like, come
Like,
on
yeah,
in.
like, come on.
She's like, thanks.
No, she'll go crazy.
She'll shut him down.
Yeah, she's very protective. Like if someone tries to hug me when we're just like if I'm walking her,
She's a
not that
right-hand
random
puppy.
people are hugging me on the street, but like if, like for example, okay, this is a better example. If I try to
That'd be
pet
weird.
another dog, she
Oh,
will bark.
she's
and she
jealous.
Can't. I can't touch other dogs.
Oh, she's jealous of
She's
the other
very-
dogs.
very
Oh, that's what's
protective.
going on.
Very jelly belly.
She's a little jelly belly. I sent you, I don't know if you saw that TikTok video I sent you, but it was a Frenchie with like overalls. And I feel like you need to get her some overalls.
Yeah.
Because it was darn tootin' cutin'.
Too cute.
Juno won't have it. I gave Juno a mohawk one time.
Juno.
It was like a pink mohawk. She looked rad. She doesn't like wearing clothes, actually. She likes just freeballing it.
Same Z's with Dolly. She can't stand clothes.
Oh, she's
so
over it.
sad.
Oh, you would totally dress her up. You would totally.
But now I'm like, okay, we compromise. She'll let me put little bows on her.
Oh, she does?
Bandanas.
All right. Well, so here's the thing about this song, and I'm thinking about it. It's like, you know, it's like perfect timing. Like, we pick such good songs for the energy and the atmosphere, what's going on. February, love month, but all crazy stuff that's happening in the world and everything. And we're just trying to, like, center ourselves and just connect. But then we have people in our lives that we're like, what did I see in them? You know, and it's just like dealing with our exes and letting go of that energy so we can open up new channels for new people and new love. But I guess the question for this episode, inspired by the lyrics, as we say, but yeah, how do we navigate the space between like longing that deep connection, that love, heart connection. And then also, but accepting the reality of what is in the way of like, oh, maybe it wasn't, that soulmate energy or like the person, how do you approach it? I mean, I know how I've been navigating it lately, but how have you done that it's worked for you, in terms of dealing with that kind of thing?
I think it's
we dealt with some similar things in our relationship stuff lately.
It's important to just meet people where they are and to stay present and have the self-awareness to let things go and not be in so much control of it and see what like emerges naturally when you relinquish the control.
Right. But are you talking about like in terms of like, let's say relationships, your ex situation, like going forward, how do you feel confident navigating, allowing new people to come in or to kind of like vet new people while still, safeguarding your heart and like honoring yourself? You know what I mean? And not like you have to have all the answers. That was a deep question. Are you ready? No, but I'm just, because that's where I am at right now too. I'm in the same spot as you with that.
I just think it's important to just be open to whatever comes naturally, not trying to force anything with anyone.
Meaning yourself, like comes naturally. What do you mean?
As far as like dating, maybe dating someone new, dating.
Or just someone comes into your experience and like, there's could be a potential for them being a new romantic partner or something like that. How do you approach that going forward where you think that could help safeguard from what happened in the past where it was kind of unrequited or not reciprocated?
Communication is very important. You have to make sure you're on the same page with them. And I think, having those conversations up front lets you know where the other person is.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, to my point, is just like, if you are meeting someone that might not be in the same realm of where you are with what kind of relationship you want, that's okay. But at least you know that from jump so that you can just kind of navigate that day by day and see what flourishes. Yeah. But you won't put so much pressure on something.
An expectation.
Expecting more than what it is. But who knows, some more can naturally flourish, but you have to just let go of trying to control that for it to be more than what it is.
And I agree. And, and what helps me to what you're saying about it is that honestly, like this last time, I realized I call it like a rupture. Like when you have a rupture in your life where all the things kind of come out and they need to, because it's like for women, especially, we have cycles. This is a great way for us. This is how we shed our skin and we renew and we refresh, right? Oftentimes it can be overwhelming. And a lot of times what we do is we look for sanctuary and a new person, to come out of that. And I did that for my last relationship. Before that, I kind of ruptured and then I went into a new relationship. And I thought I was like on the incline, but still had a lot of stuff I was still unpacking and didn't have secureness in myself. And so now this last time I realized when I ruptured with this relationship and it needed to happen because we were just going on different paths. I wasn't receiving reciprocity in the relationship. I was pouring in, not getting back what I needed as a nourishing relationship. But I was willing to see that and say that. I think that's the other thing. I was trying to make fetch happen always. And it was hard because like when you connect with people, whatever the situation, even if it's not a match, there's a bond. And so it's hard to discern, it's okay to say it's no longer a match because, initially you were a match for whatever vibration you were on, but now it's not. And it's okay to say, you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater, So I feel like this time I've been kind of working on my solo journey and coming back into me and like really loving me and getting to know me and really going, what does Shay want? Because I was always kind of just like deciding what everybody else thinks, I should have, or like the partner I'm with, what do they want? Then I want that for me too, And so then I was just like, whoa. And then so when I started doing that, then when I had this rupture, then it was like, oh, I'm just going to ground into myself. And I came back to myself and now I'm back. There we go. Snaps.
Yes,
and so when I ground into myself, I always have that going forward. I didn't have to find somebody else or something to make me feel whole again or okay. It got rid of a lot of fears that I used to have, like being alone. Of course I love collaborating with people. Of course I want to walk my path with somebody. But now it feels like a bonus. Like I feel so comfortable saying, I meet new people. I'm always giving people a benefit of the doubt, but I also have boundaries and I honor myself now. So if I realize immediately, it's almost like the universe doesn't allow me to let it drag on. They either get to stay and play, or I just politely, and not even like there's no drama about it, I'll just be like, oh, we're not a match. And I have no problem doing that. In the past, it was so hard for me. I keep everybody in, all these like people on the perimeter who didn't deserve my time and energy, and I'd be like feeding them, and I felt like I had all these tubes shooting off of me into these people, and I'm like sitting here like a battery, like and like, you know, draining me.
That's what we call the disease to please. And you and I both
did.
suffer from that.
Yeah.
And when you are trying to please everybody, you forget and you get lost in yourself. And so
You lose yourself.
for sure.
Yeah.
And so what to your point where you were saying, just to like circle back on that, it's
Yeah.
very important to stay authentic and true to you, because
Yeah.
then the right people will come naturally. You don't have
Yeah.
to force anything.
And you're being intentional who you're calling in.
Definitely.
And whether it's romantic, whether it's a creative partner, whether it's just a friendship, it's so refreshing, because then, to your point, if you're at least that aligned on that step, then it's like, okay, then it will naturally sort itself. Oh, you're a romantic partner. Oh, you're a friend, whatever. But at least you know, whatever you are, you're good people.
And when you're having
Right?
those honest conversations in the very beginning,
Yes.
you can kind of like, okay, you put people in where they
And the
need to
right
be, and
people,
the right place
the-
in your life.
Yes, and the right people will have no problem honoring your boundaries.
Yes.
That's my litmus test.
Or try to manipulate you.
Yeah.
And
Or make you
sneak
feel bad
away.
about it, or less than, or too rigid. Like, the right people will 100% almost be like, I'm glad you have that boundary.
Yeah.
And so, boom, easy. I think in the past, we were just so worried about like pleasing, like you said, and we would lower our bar, and then we'd be like, oh, eventually they'll pour back in. That's how I was doing it. I'd be like, oh, I'm pouring in. And they're like, hold, can I connect here? Hold on 1 second. I need to fill up. And I'm like, oh, sure, go ahead. I only have a little piece left, but go ahead. You know, and I'm just like sitting here, and I'm like, don't worry, they'll fill me up again. They'll pour, and then they're just like, bye. And then I'm like sitting here with all these tubes, and I'm like,
Yeah, no. The bond
That was quite
has
visual.
to be mutual. The bond has to be mutual in
Yeah.
every way. It has to be.
We deserve that.
To quote Matthew Hussey, because
Oh, okay.
it's like you need mutual attraction,
Yes.
mutual adoration,
Yes.
mutual compatibility,
Yes.
and mutual commitment. That is the main
Yeah.
one. And when you don't have those things,
There's another A you're forgetting. Mutual affection.
affection.
Yes, it's important in relationships.
Did I say attraction already?
You said attraction.
Yeah.
And that's true. I know who you're talking about, and I agree. And the thing is, like, it's so lovely to be like, to hold out for that, because we
Yeah.
deserve that, and there are people. And I think we just can we lower the bar because we think, oh, this is the best I'm going to get, or I better like
or
grab it
you
while I
just
can.
like this
you know.
person so much, and you just like you want to.
You've been glamoured.
You
I call
got
it
the rose-colored glasses on,
You've
and
been
you want to
glamoured.
just kind of, be a certain way so that they'll like you more, and like you don't want to like ruffle any feathers.
But then already that's a red flag.
totally,
Yeah.
when you're changing yourself, you have to just be you.
But that's
do
our
you,
insecurities, and that's what happens. Yeah.
and the right people will stay.
That's right.
Your person won't leave. Your person will want to do
The-
this
you're-
journey with you.
And this is friends or lovers. That person is going to love all those idiosyncrasies and all those. Get as close as you can to unconditional love. This is what animals teach us.
But
that-
you won't get there until you start loving you.
100%.
Start pouring into yourself more.
It has to start first with you. I think so.
And then to what you were saying earlier, like once you started doing that,
Yeah.
you could easily see like, oh, what was I thinking?
Yes. I know until you get to that point, and I think that's the journey for all of us, but to know we're all here to support each other in finding that, right? And just to hold out and know, like that's what we talked about in our last episode about soul family and all that. That's the same thing. Those people are the ones, but we have to find our way in our own time. We have to release programs and fears and insecurities, because that's what kind of gets us attracting those people. But you know what? So I'm thankful for that. What I'm getting at is I'm thankful for that journey, because it helped me find myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And it's okay if you are longing for a certain type of connection or relationship that you might not have right now, and that's
Yeah.
okay, and you're self-aware of that.
Yeah.
But
course.
in turn, you can also have this balance of accepting and try to nourish the ones that you do have.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
your soul tribe, your birds of a feather
Yeah.
tribe that we were talking about the last
Yeah.
episode. And just keep, making those connections grow.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I mean,
pour
it's-
into those into yourself until the right one comes along.
And I think that's what they say. I don't know who, I'm quoting someone, I don't know the name, but there was like, I guess they coined it in a book. But the whole thing is like, you are a reflection of the company that you keep. It really is something where you do that, and guess what? That energy you're creating, you're going to call in more of that.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like you can have this trust that anybody new coming in, you're good.
Right.
It's easier said than done though, right? Because sometimes it's sly.
Sly in the family stone.
Yes. Exactly. But no, I know that sounds crazy. And
You a queen.
I'm a queen.
Yeah, it's queen.
Looking for another queen.
She on the market. Hey, hit her up. Slide into the DMs. Slide into the
Classified. All right. So no, but it does feel good because, and of course, I love animals, and like they are my earth angels in this journey. And of course, anytime I'm in between, I can always ground with my little Juno, my little fuzz. Whoever's with me on the journey at that time in life, they're always kind of like my saving grace when I'm dealing with like crazy relationship stuff. It's not that crazy. It's funny because like I've always had long-term relationships, and also you don't also want to get stuck in something that is like just meet you halfway and it's kind of like unfulfilling in some other categories, and maybe you're not able to propel yourself in other things that you're meant to do in this life. And so I also trust that the universe was like, no, keep it moving, because I feel like when you're with the right person, they're going to help you expand.
The right person's going to
Right.
make your light even brighter.
That's right.
Shinier, sparklier,
That's right.
not dim it.
Messy hair and all. You can roll out and they're like, I love you.
I love you.
I love your messed up hair.
Any man of mine better be proud of me. Even though I'm ugly, still
Hey.
better love me.
Ooh.
And I can be late for a date, that's fine, but it better be on time.
Yeah.
Why was it Cher at the end?
That's so... You went from Johnny to Cher.
Oh.
You were really getting that low range.
I
I love it.
I'm recovering from a cold.
I know, but you got that. Seriously, I'm impressed. We didn't catch her on video, but we have it on audio. But she's saying, like, it was like low. I can't even get that low. It was good.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
You can't, I don't even, what were you singing?
I was singing,
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Yes! I love how you get surprised at every praise.
myself.
That's amazing.
I feel like Phoebe in Friends when she had the cold and she sounded all sexy.
Right. Oh, wait, what episode? That wasn't the Smelly Cat episode, was it?
No, she
Okay.
was just like practicing and she's like, "Ooh, yeah, I like this voice." And she gets so mad when their cold is like gone now and she's back to normal. She doesn't have her
I do
sexy,
remember that
raspy
one.
voice anymore.
All right. Well, I feel like we're kind of at the end of our episode, but this was really, really lovely.
So fun.
And
Thank you.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this powdery velvet donut of Fade Into You by Mazzy Star. And of course, I felt like we had a nice little deep conversation on this episode. This is good.
Real shit.
We got, I got a little vulnerable there.
We're spilling tea. Next time we gotta bring some tea.
So anyway, make sure to, if you're watching on Spotify, make sure to subscribe and rate us because that helps us out a lot to boost it up. And of course, you'll get notified of a new episode being released. And then if you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe to us there as well because you will be notified of our watch parties. We do every time we release an episode, we do a live watch party.
We can have fun in the chat. We'll play
With
games.
me and Mandy, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can chat with us live while we're watching our own show with you. And you'll see it first before we publish it out. So it's kind of like a premiere, obviously, of that episode.
Yeah.
And then finally,
Go to getyoursonicdonuts.com, our official website, and subscribe to our newsletter because we're going to be sending you so much goodness and yummy sweet treats.
that's right. You can only get it there at getyoursonicdonuts.com. So thank you so much again for joining us for another lovely episode. And we can't wait to see you next time.
So this has been Sonic Donuts.
Tasty sounds that tickle your earbuds and tease your brain. See you next episode. Mwah.
Sonic Donuts. Sonic Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic Donuts. Sonic Donuts. In the back, Sonic Donuts. Sonic Donuts. In the front, Sonic Donuts. What am I doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Sonic